Good afternoon, Yankees Nation. I'm Ken, and you're here with the ugly truth. And we're going to be doing the broadcast for the Old Timers game today. Not sure exactly how this one's going to work. Hey, Susan, welcome to the stream. But we're going to do the best that we can. It's been a few years since they've had an Old Timers game in the Bronx, and this is going to be a celebration of the 25th anniversary of the 2000 World Series championship for the New York Yankees. We're going to be seeing some classic fan favorite Yankees out at the ballpark today. It should be a good time, and it looks like the Yankees are going to have at least a win today at the Old Timers game. So I look forward to seeing what we have here. I look forward to seeing players like Bernie Williams back on the field. You're going to have Paulie O'Neill out there too. Hey Nancy, how's it going? It should be a fun stream. Hey Lou. It's hard to believe that championship was 25 years ago. Looks like they've got some people out there doing some hitting practice, and the Old Timers pregame show should be interesting with some pretty cool interviews. For those of you that don't have yet access to the Yes Network or the Gotham Sports app, I'm glad to be here to give y'all a little bit of insight into the games. Following the 77th Old Timers game, I'm going to be doing the play-by-play for Game 2 of the Astros versus the Yankees, featuring Framber Valdez for the Astros and Luis Hill's second start of the season. Hopefully we have better results than we did yesterday, and I pray to God that we don't see Devin Williams on the bump today. All right, Jake. Welcome to the stream. You too, Lou. If you haven't, please hit the like button and share the channel out. If you're not a member of Yankees The Ugly Truth, please consider subscribing. Yeah. Like I said, Bernie has a special place in my heart. He was one of the upstarts that came up before the core group of Yankees in a lot of World Series championships for us. Championships and appearances. And we're going to see Joe Torre. So he's going to see some of his teams from players from the 2000 championship. You're going to have Posada out there and Pettit, Bernie Williams. The one notable that won't be there is going to be Derek Jeter for today's game. He'll be celebrating his daughter's birthday. You can't argue about that. Yeah, Jake. Old Timers Day features teams will be the Yankees and the Bronx Bombers. older folks generally are on the Bronx Bombers. Uh, well, Jake, the thing to think about is all you need is a ticket to the dance, and good things can happen. Uh, hey, Pasty. Yeah, I actually had anticipations that we were going to win that game until I saw Devin Williams, and it's like, oh God, here it comes again. If you don't remember, the 2023 World Series featured the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Texas Rangers, and both teams happen to be wild card teams. Like I said, you just need a ticket to the dance and a little bit of magic, and anything is possible. And for those of you just joining the stream, if you could, please hit the like button, share the channel out, and if you're not a member of Yankees The Ugly Truth, please consider subscribing. Honestly, Pasty, I just have the gut feeling that when Cruz and Yarbrough come back, that Williams is going to be released by the Yankees. He's not been productive all year. As a matter of fact, he's cost us probably about 13 games or so. So I'm hoping that Boone has a modicum of common sense and does not try to bring this guy back into the game today. However, he's the manager and he does what he does. The one thing that well, Pasty, we had Tim Hill in the bullpen. We had Hedrick in the bullpen and Bednar in the bullpen last night. Well, if you didn't know, uh, Yarbrough and Cruz are throwing their first rehab games tomorrow. I think within 2 weeks, you're going to end up seeing those two back on the major league roster. And looking at the players that we have down in the minor leagues that are on the 40-man roster that could be brought up, Jake Bird is down there. Scott Efris is down there. So there are definitely options for folks to be brought up. You also have Ian Hamilton, who I don't want to see back in the major leagues. Loiza's down there, ditto on him, and well, Susan, I'm not sure that I would say that Boone doesn't care. I believe at this point he's fighting for his job right now. And if this continues, it would not surprise me if the Yankees moved on from Boone in the offseason. I believe that if he doesn't make the postseason, he's cooked. So, how are we feeling about the old timers game? Like I said, I hadn't called one of these before. It's been a few years since the Yankees had the old timers game. I'm not sure, but I actually think that this one is a softball format, so it should be even more fun. Yeah, Jake, I do believe that because although we've had some injury issues for the most part, the team is not performing under Boone so far. Pasty brought up a fact that the bullpen has blown 25 games this season. Like I says, Pasty, there hasn't been an old timers game, I believe, in this is the first one in like 3 years or so, and it's the 77th. Well, if he says that, if he says that, Lou, he'll still be fired. So doesn't make it won't make any difference at that point. If you have not heard the roster for this afternoon's game against the uh, Astros, we have Goldschmidt playing first, Judge DH and Bellinger playing left field, Stanton actually playing right field. So we're going to have both those bats in the game. Price will be behind the dish. Volpe will be at shortstop. Grisham in center. Caballero will be taking the second base slot, and McMahon will be at third. So definitely a change in the lineup. Jazz will be sitting. Personally, I would have pulled him out of the game yesterday after he loafed running to first base. Hey, Jonathan. The bullpen decisions, I think, are coming from Boone. The the reason I think that Rosario is not in the game today, I don't know if you caught any of the game yesterday. In the 10th inning, he crashed into the right field wall and looked like he had knocked himself silly. Might have hurt his shoulder or whatnot. Yeah, I was surprised, Susan, that he stayed in the game. I mean, that was a gut check. On that play, though, Trent Grisham did a fantastic job backing the play up and got the ball in to throw Christian Walker out at second base. So, what do we know today? Anything special? Anything good? Actually, Jake, I think it's 4 games. And it looks like John Flaherty is going to be playing in today's game. And let's see. At today's Old Timers game, we're going to have Jesse Barfield, Clay Bellinger, Cody's dad. Aaron Boone will be on the field. Homer Bush, Chris Chambliss, Roger Clemens, David Cohn, Johnny Damon, Bucky Dent, Brian Doyle, John Flaherty, Dwight Gooden, Ron Guidry, Orlando Hernandez, David Justice, Tino Martinez, Lee Mazzilli, Ramiro Mendoza, Gene Monahan, Greg Nettles, Paul O'Neill, Andy Pettit, Lou Piniella, wow, Jorge Posada, Willie Randolph, Mariano Rivera will be there, Mickey Rivers will be there, Luis Sojo, Alfonso Soriano, Shane Spencer, Mike Stanton, Joe Torre, Jose Vizcaino, Roy White, Bernie Williams, some truly, truly great Yankee players of the past. Matsui is not on the list, Susan. Well, I can't answer to Max Fried, but I know that Cody Bellinger put out a statement last week that he wants to stay in New York. He'd be willing to take a cheaper deal to stay in New York. He just wants to contribute to the team. And I think that if the front office is on point, they're going to make that signing as soon as possible. I would look at a 5-year deal. I wouldn't give him a pay cut. I would actually look at $25 million a season. And for those of you that are just joining the stream, if you could, please hit the like button, share the channel out, and consider subscribing if you're not a member of Yankees The Ugly Truth. And welcome, Jake. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate all of y'all being here to share a little bit of your Saturday, listening to a little bit of baseball. Yeah, Jake, I'm not even sure what Booney was thinking when he put Williams out on the bump. I mean, the general rule of foot has been do not put Williams in there if the game is tied or we have a 1-run lead. And we were tied. He went against the conventional wisdom, and we ended up paying the price for it. I think game time is going to be in about 9 minutes or so. It'll be a fun call. It's funny when we were in the championship years. I was a chief, senior chief, master chief in the Navy, and a lot of these games I was out to sea or deployed. So I never really had the opportunity to catch an old timers day game. So I'm looking forward to calling the stream. I think that it'll be a hell of a lot of fun. And my personal recommendation would be that the Yankee players of today sit and garner all the knowledge and wisdom that these old timers have. Competitive edge, the way they approach the game, because something has to change. Nancy, you're right. Alex Rodriguez was a horrible, horrible postseason player, and it just took one outstanding outing in the postseason, and he went from goat to hero. All right, let's see. The game is going to start in an hour. All right. Well, if that with that being said, I'm going to drop the link, and anybody who wants to come up, please feel free to do so, and we can talk some Yankee baseball or whatever the heck you want to talk. What players are you guys interested in seeing from the past out on the field? We got a cool interview going on with Cody and Clay Bellinger. It's funny. Clay lives in Arizona now, and he's actually a fireman. For me, one of my heroes as a young man was Ron Guidry, Gator, Louisiana Lightning. So I'm looking forward to seeing him on the mound. I realize he's considerably older and is yep. Joe likes Chambliss and Nettles, the 76, 77 World Series types, 78. It is available, Jake, on the Gotham Sports app and on the Yes Network. It's funny. Clay's number as a Yankee was 35, and Cody is wearing his dad's number. Jim Abbott, yep, he was an incredible player to begin with, but being handicapped and whatnot, his no hitter was something that I would have never fashioned that could have happened. But Roy White, class act, without a doubt. Actually, it's going to be funny to see Mickey Rivers out on the field too. Mick the Quick probably isn't so quick at this point. All right, let's see. Joe's put up The actual game will start in over an hour. They have to announce players first and the ex-wives, things that look for the game just about one or so. Yeah, we should see Thurman Munson's widow. Uh, Same thing with regard to Bobby Mercer's widow. They have been staunch supporters of the Yankees organization, even all these years after their husbands have not been with us for a long time. And they're now currently interviewing Alfonso Soriano. He was an outfielder for the Yankees from 99 to 2003 and then 13 and 14. That is certainly not outside the realm of possibility, Susan. Yes, Jake, I believe so. They just had Cody with his dad. They have a pregame meeting, and then by the time game time shows around, they should be there. Soriano played second and left field. Soriano, during his playing time with the Yankees, he was actually a 30-30 guy. We ended up moving him to the Cubs, I believe. And we have our first guest of the day.
Hi.
Welcome, Jonathan.
I need to mute. I need to mute the other.
How are you feeling about today's old timers game?
Well, I always like go seeing the old timers and especially they're honoring a World Series team. So maybe a 2000 World Series team can talk some sense into this team, and I I I hope that Devin Williams and Mariano Rivera have a real big talk. Because there's no one who can give you better advice of closing than Mariano. So I'm really hoping Devin Williams can really take advantage of today and have that conversation. I mean, if you were the closer, wouldn't you want to have a 10-minute chat with Mariano while he's standing right next to you?
The greatest of all time, without a doubt. But the thing that's funny, people get nostalgic about Mariano. Mariano had his lumps too.
I know. I remember the 2001 World Series. I
The
was watching it. I was watching it. I saw the Soriano home run. I'm like, yeah, we got this one. And then the next one, you have uh, Womack and Louis. I can't even remember Louis' last name. What was his last name?
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez. Yes, Louis Gonzalez.
Gonzo.
Those two players essentially lost us the World Series. So I know Devin Williams can't come close to Mariano Rivera. My point is for him to talk with Mariano Rivera, and maybe he can straighten whatever is going on with him. I never compared Mariano to Devin Williams or vice versa. I'm just saying if you have the greatest closer at all time standing 15 feet in front of you, you might as well have a conversation about closing games.
You remember the closer for the Diamondbacks in that 2001 World
That was
Series?
Kim. That was Kim,
Yep.
the sidearm. I think
Bunyoung Kim.
Bunyan Kim. He's the
Jared
one who gave up the home run to Soriano
and a Jeter.
and the Jeter. Well, I'm thinking about only Game 7.
Yeah.
Yes, I was still in high school, and unfortunately, 9/11 was a few weeks before then. I remember that. I remember being in a high school in New York. I remember what happened and where I was on that day. I remember seeing a lot of parents running into the high school picking up their kids.
We had I was actually, when 9/11 happened, I was on leave. I was about to take off with my family to go on vacation, and I was out changing the oil on the car, and my next door neighbor came running out of the house. She's an older lady, and said that the Americans were being attacked, that we were at war, and I thought she was maybe a little bit lost, and I got a phone call that said I'd been recalled to the ship. So I ended up going in, and that day I was on the Laboon. We were one of the few ships that were in port that actually had anti-air missiles. So we deployed to the coast of New York City to be air defense because people didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I can tell you on Labor Day that Labor Day was the first time I ever went to the Twin Towers. The Labor Day weekend before 9/11. Is the first I spent the day in the city. I went to the Twin Towers. I went to the Empire State Building. I went. My mom took me. I ate on the restaurant on the. Yeah, that was the first and only time I ever went into that building.
Yep. Every time I go to New York, I go to the memorials for the towers and the Pentagon. I had several of my shipmates were killed on that day.
Yeah, I don't go downtown very much anymore because I no longer work down all the way downtown. So there's really been no reason to go downtown unless I'm ever called for a jury.
And John the Beagle Dad, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you being here. Those of you that are just joining, please hit the like button, share the channel out, and if you are not a member of Yankees The Ugly Truth, please consider subscribing. Following this game, I think we're going to have about a half-hour break, and I will be back online calling the Game 2 play-by-play for the Astros versus the Yankees.
I'm actually going to the minor league game later tonight in Hudson Valley.
Oh, yeah?
So I probably won't be around for the game. It's the Hudson Valley Renegades. It's the Yankee single A farm system. I have tickets to the game tonight at 5.
And they're showing some highlights from the ALCS championship against the Mariners.
Yeah. Yeah. That was what they did in that World Series is exactly the opposite thing they did last year in the World Series.
Yep.
I mean, if there was one play in last year's World Series that I can say was the turning point, it may have been Judge not catching that routine fly ball.
Well, that was just a calamity of errors that dogpiled on each other. It was a freaking nightmare. It just kept getting worse.
Yeah, but I think yeah, I'm glad they really improved the infield defense, although it doesn't feel like it. But it's definitely improved from last year.
I looked at the defensive numbers for the Yankees just the other day, and our team is rated as the 7th best defense in baseball.
And what was it rated last year?
We were right near the middle.
So it's a little bit it's better.
Top 10%. So
Well, top 10, not 10%, because there's not 100 teams. Anyway, you already looked at today's lineup.
I have.
What
But
do
I'll
you
go
think?
over it once again. We have Paul Goldschmidt leading off playing first base. Aaron Judge DHing, hitting second. Cody Bellinger will be playing left field, hitting third. This is the one that scares me. Giancarlo Stanton will be hitting cleanup and playing right field. Ben Rice will be behind the dish, hitting in the 5 hole. Volpe will be at shortstop, hitting 6th. Grisham will be in center field, hitting 7th. Jose Caballero will be hitting 8th at second base. And Ryan McMahon will be at third, bringing up the rear. Think note that Jazz is not in the lineup today.
Yeah. I don't think Jazz has much of a future here after his contract is up.
Yes, Lou. Giancarlo Stanton is in right field today.
Yes.
First time he has been on the field since 2023.
Well, they have no choice. If they want him in the lineup, he has to play the field because Judge is not ready to play the field.
I have the feeling that Rosario might have been dinged up from the crash into the wall last night.
Probably. But look, they're paying Stanton $25 million. He can play one game in right field. Plus,
Let's
he
just
always
hope
says, you remember Stanton always says he plays better when he plays the field. He said that a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll give him a chance to prove that theory. I mean, I really don't understand why playing a field or DHing would be any different in terms. You're still having at bats. Do you know if there's really any that big of a difference?
Difference in what?
How a player bats when they're DHing compared to playing the field?
And Jill Martin is being introduced. Billy
Yeah.
Billy Martin's widow.
I think I saw Diana Munson also.
And I would suspect that Bobby Mercer's widow will be there also.
Yeah, she's right now on the. She's being introduced right now. Yeah, Bobby Mercer was a great guy. I've met him twice. I've met him twice. He was a good guy.
And Kay Mercer is being introduced.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's Diana Munson.
Yep. He would have passed away this month.
Who?
Thurman Munson.
Thurman Munson was last week. A week ago today. I think they already last Saturday they had they were talking about that on the pregame.
And they are announcing Jose Vizcaino.
Yeah, Jose Vizcaino. That's a name I haven't heard for a while.
Catfish's widow. I'm not sure on that one, Susan.
I don't know.
And Clay Bellinger is now being introduced. When he played for us, he played every position except catcher and pitcher. Definitely a versatile player.
Catfish. His wife is still alive. No. Helen. Let me.
And looks like Lee Manzilli is going to be the manager for the Old Timers game, at least one of them. And they're introducing Gene Monahan.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know.
And Doc Gooden is now being announced.
Well, Catfish retired when he was only 33. So if he didn't retire so early, he probably could have won 300 games.
Not taking any bets on that one, Susan.
Was about Boone getting booed.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's getting booed today.
And they're announcing Homer Bush.
Another guy with speed.
Yep.
And that is the one thing that's missing today. Even with the one thing I would love to see more is base stealing, and the Yankees, for some reason, do not steal bases ever. And I have no idea why. Do you have an answer for that?
No clue. We've gotten younger. We've got more athleticism. There are definitely speed guys on the team, and
But
they
they don't
just
use
announced
the
Tom
speed.
Flaherty.
Yeah. They're announcing Spencer now. Shane Spencer. Want to put money on that? Put money on what?
Boone getting or anybody getting booed. Shane Spencer is now being announced.
I have the television on mute, so that money would be worthless. I can't even hear it. So, what is it that you want to see from the Yankees going forward the next 7 weeks?
Brian Doyle is now being announced. What do I want to see from the Yankees? I want to see an established bullpen precedence, finalizing Bednar as the actual closer. I would like to see starting pitching getting at least 18 outs. Right now, we're at a plus 96 for run differential. So we're still scoring, but it's the bullpen that's given up the ghost for us.
Yeah. Without such a bad bullpen.
And they've got just introduced Mickey Rivers, and he's actually running on the field at his age.
Well, for some reason, Mickey Rivers seems faster than some of these guys. Who got introduced now? I think that's Roy White.
That is Roy White.
Johnny Damon. Even Damon had a little bit of speed. See, that's something that's something that's not utilized today in the Yankees. They don't run when they need to.
Johnny Damon was a decent glove guy, but he was a contact hitter. Had the ability to steal. He was just a good all-around player.
Yeah, his biggest problem was his arm in the outfield. He couldn't throw it. He couldn't throw from the outfield.
It's funny to see Damon with the normal haircut. You remember he had the Goldilocks flowing.
I remember when he was on the Red Sox. He probably looked like one of those '70s rock band guys. I'm sure you were around in the '70s. You remember how everybody had long hair down to the shoulders and beards down to the chest.
Yep, I remember that. And they're introducing Alfonso Soriano. I would have swore that Soriano was a Cub. You said he got traded for the Rangers for A-Rod.
He was a Cub. After the Rangers, he went to the Cubs. And then he got signed with Washington, I believe, and then the Yankees got him back.
And Bucky Dent, the most hated Yankee at Fenway Park, is being introduced.
Yeah. Alfonso Soriano played with the Yankees and Texas and Washington for 1 year, then the Cubs, and then back to the Yankees. So that's the story of his career. He was traded by Texas to Washington for 3 players before the 2006 season, then signed a free agent contract with the Cubs, and in 2013, he was traded from the Cubs to the Yankees.
All right. And Sweet Lou Piniella is being introduced.
So he had a pretty good career, made solid amount of money also. If I had a career like Soriano, I would not complain. He even had a 40-40 season.
Craig Nettles is being introduced. Fantastic third baseman for the Yankees. I think we actually got him in a trade from the Indians.
Greg Nettles. That's Ron Guidry. Guidry is next.
Hey, FJ, welcome to the stream.
And Guidry, another one of those guys who should be in the Hall of Fame, but just isn't.
I remember his 25-3 season with the 1.25 ERA.
1.75 ERA.
Or 1.75, yeah. Matter of fact, I patterned my pitching style after him.
So, what would you have been like if you had a similar outcome? I'm sure you would. Well, you probably would have had major league experience.
Nickname Gator or Louisiana Lightning.
Yeah.
I think Susan's stream is just a bit ahead of mine.
Well, I'm watching it on the television, and they're just now introducing Chambliss.
Yeah.
So it might. I don't know. Are you watching it on a live stream or on a cable box?
I'm watching it on the Gotham Sports app.
So I assume the Gotham Sports app is just as live as cable.
Yep.
Maybe it might be 2 seconds behind, but
yeah.
Because I'm seeing now the introduction of Willie Randolph.
Yep.
Yeah, and Willie Randolph was a good coach. I thought he was the most underrated coach of the Yankees in the 90s.
Well, I will tell you, the Mets did him dirty.
Yeah, the Mets. I think if the Mets had Steve Owen as an owner, they would have never. They would have been much better to him.
They flew him to the West Coast to fire him.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Why don't you just make a phone call and fire him?
Great question.
And if you have owners who live on the West Coast and you own an East Coast team, you shouldn't be an owner. At least Steinbrenner lived in Florida, and he moved the Yankees spring training to Tampa from Fort Lauderdale, closer
Yep.
to where he resided.
And they just introduced Mike Stanton.
It's Ramiro Mendoza, actually.
Yeah, they've got him up now.
Yeah. I think the cable is probably 3 seconds ahead of the sports app.
Yep.
Now it's Luis
Ramiro Mendoza.
Soho. Maybe Louis Soho can teach a thing or two about fielding. Teach Anthony Volpe a thing or two about fielding. He used to be the coach.
Well, Rojas is one that I would prefer to not see come back. He's turned completely timid with base runners after getting 7 of them gunned out last season, including Stanton several times.
Well, he has to realize that Stanton is not a fast base runner. You cannot have Stanton go when he's jogging. He'd probably run as fast as the average 80-year-old.
El Duque.
Yeah, the famous windup of El Duque.
He and his brother Levon had similar leg kicks. You remember he came over from Cuba.
Yeah. I think, wasn't El Duque the first Cuban-born player to play for the Yankees?
Say again?
Was El Duque the first Cuban-born player to play for the Yankees?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember that. David Cohn.
I was in the Yankee Stadium when he made his first return as a Boston Red Sox.
Yeah. David Cohn. Do they still do announcing for the Yankees on occasion? Because
Yeah.
I don't see him very often.
He does it on occasion.
I wonder if he's mic'd up today.
He does the play-by-play sitting between freaking Eduardo Rodriguez as one of the ultimate Yankee haters. And Rocket.
Yeah, another guy who a great guy. But, look, I remember hearing stories about Pedro wanted to come to the Yankees. Why? When he got traded, I don't know why Montreal never traded him to the Yankees and traded him to Boston instead. I don't know the whole story about that, but could you imagine what would the Yankees be like if they traded in after '96 for Pedro Martinez? That '98 team would have been even better than they were.
You're right, Tiot. I forgot he actually played for the Yankees.
Yeah.
My memories of him were as a Red Sox. Dino Martinez.
Yeah, he's a guy who should be a good hitting coach. Actually, he was not the first. Tiant was not the first Cuban-born player to play for the Yankees.
Who was?
A guy by the name of Angel Aragon. Played from 1914 to 1917 as a third baseman.
Hell, I wouldn't remember him. I'm not that old.
Yeah. But that's the answer. Someone who was on the team before Babe Ruth. Angel Aragon. He only played 8 years with the Yankees. But he played 3 years for the Yankees. But he didn't do anything. He didn't have good numbers.
Posada. He was the countermeasure for Randy Johnson.
Posada. I don't think you'll ever see Randy Johnson in a old-timer to come to old-timers day.
Yeah, I don't suspect so. Didn't enjoy his time in New York, and he wasn't a very good Yankee.
No, I think his worst season was in New York.
Paul O'Neill.
Yeah, Paul O'Neill is probably the most fan favorite out of a lot of them. Paul O'Neill, Bernie Williams.
And for those of you just joining the stream, if you could hit the like button, share the channel out. And if you're not a member of Yankees The Ugly Truth, please consider subscribing.
Paul O'Neill makes Aaron Judge look like Bart Simpson. I don't know what Joe is saying there. If I was Aaron Judge right now, I would ask Paul O'Neill about how to lay off the low pitches. Because O'Neill was
And they're
very
introducing Bernie Williams.
Yeah. Paul O'Neill was always very good at hitting the low pitches. And if you remember, that trade for Paul O'Neill was the first big trade that the Yankees made to start the 90s dynasty.
At the time, I had a girlfriend from Ohio, and we went to go see the Reds play, and Paul O'Neill was part of the team, and he just pounded the hell out of the ball. And when I found out that he had come to the Yankees, I was freaking ecstatic.
Yeah. I think that with the Jimmy Key was probably the first major free agent they signed that started it. Because in the early 90s, nobody wanted to come to the Yankees. They offered Greg Maddux more money to come to the Yankees instead of the Braves. How would the 90s dynasty be like if they had Greg Maddux? They offered him a deal in 92. They had a deal. But based on what I heard, they had a deal. They the Yankees were supposed to call Maddox back or get back to him to finalize the deal, and they never did. So Maddox signed with the Braves. There was something last minute that the Yankees messed up on in that deal, according to what I read. I heard. I don't know anything about the facts. Did you hear something like that?
I did.
Because I don't know the whole story. Do you know the story?
I heard it. Never paid much mind to it, especially since he didn't come to the Yankees.
Yeah. But imagine Maddox in the 90s.
Yep.
They probably they may have won in 95. Joe Torre.
Yep.
Yeah. Joe Torre was a nice guy. He's a nice guy. I've met him.
And they're introducing the great Mariano Rivera.
Well, you want to see something? I'll show you something. You see that?
Yep.
Me and Mariano.
Those those late 90s championship teams, between playoffs and series appearances, they played a whole damn season in that alone.
I was. Yeah, I think Mariano could probably still play. He always he always has kept himself in very good shape, and his pitching motion never really changed, so it didn't put a lot of stress on his arm, and that's why he never got hurt.
The only time he got hurt was shagging flies in Kansas City.
Well, Derek Jeter is giving a speech now.
Beat the mess on top of it. And to the Yankee fans, thank you as always for being so passionate, energetic, and undoubtedly the greatest fans in the world. I hope to see you guys soon, guys.
So, yeah, Derek Jeter always has a very positive message to talk to the fans.
FJ, I wouldn't find that hard to believe at all.
I even have a video of Mariano's last game. I took a video. I was sitting in right field, upper deck, and I saw a clear path from the center field, run the way he used to run out of the dugout to the mound. Yeah. Yeah, all that other stuff.
Hey, Dev, welcome to the stream.
All of it.
Hey, old Sarge, welcome. In the Navy, lived, breathed, and crap the Navy. Is that where you're at, Susan? Is in Florida?
Not bad. I think old Sarge is saying something. I don't know if they're I don't know if there's a rivalry, a fun rivalry between guys in different branches.
Of course. There always has been. It's funny because the Navy has more airplanes than the Air Force. The Army has more boats than the Navy.
Oh, there is. I'm sure. I'm sure the Army Navy football game is exciting for you.
Oh, that's a bunch of damn officers. I could give two craps about them. For those of you hopping in the stream, if you could, please hit the like button and share the channel out. If you're not a member of Yankees The Ugly Truth, please consider subscribing. And I think game time will be here in a couple of minutes. We're going to have a little bit of fun calling just a little bit of play-by-play.
Oh, this is just the old timers game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's basically a fun game.
Of course.
Like a stickball game.
I'm not actually sure if anybody else is doing a play-by-play for this game. I wanted to give it a shot. I know there are a lot of people that subscribe to my channel that do not live in New York. So they don't even have access to the game itself.
Wow. Aaron Judge still leads the baseball in on OPS. It's 150. It's more than 150 points above Ohtani.
I don't know, Joe. Obviously, you weren't watching those players run out on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about this yesterday. There's something that I do miss about. I was talking about the rules changes and how the rules change. What I like and what I dislike about the extra inning rules. I do not like the runner, the additional runner. I think if they have to have an additional runner, I would start it in the 12th inning instead of the 10th inning, because I understand eventually you're going to have to speed up the game a bit. The pitch clock is not a bad idea. I like that because before the pitch clock, when some of these guys in the 70s and 80s, you could tell they wanted to get the ball and throw the ball. The batters at the time, this was probably before the 90s, would always stay around the batter's box. They wouldn't go out of the batter's box and change their gloves like Nomar Garcia Pies do, stomp their feet on the ground, make all these circles around the home plate. And I think that's a rule that is better because you don't have all this unnecessary movement by the batters. But in terms of the runners on base in extra innings, I don't think I would like to see it go back to the way it was, at least for the first 2 innings of extra inning.
For me, I dropped a video on this channel with regard to the ghost runner. The situation in which the ghost runner was established does no longer exist.
Yes, it no longer
So
exists.
I see no reason to have the ghost runner. I do not care for it whatsoever. And the most important note to me is if we go to the postseason, there is no ghost runner. If we're not going to do it in the postseason, why should we do it in the regular season?
Well, that's one thing in the next CBA they need to figure out, because I know that this next CBA is going to be a fight, a long fight, because the owners and Mansford especially is fighting for a salary cap, and the players union is absolutely against it. You saw the article. Did you see the article how Bryce Harper basically flipped off and got at Mansford and got all angered at him? Did you read that article?
Yeah, I saw it. Harper's a prima donna, first of all. And if you look at every major sport in baseball, there is a salary cap. A major sport, not baseball. I actually would prefer to see a limit, a year count limit on contracts.
I wouldn't mind, let's say, a 5 to 7 year maximum. 5 to 7 year maximum.
Exactly.
And that way you don't have these dumb opt-outs. You don't need opt-outs if you have a 5 to 7 year limit on maximum. And in those 5 to 7 years limit, then you can discuss salary. For example, if you want to give a guy 5 years at $45 to $50 million, he's still getting paid upwards of $350 million. And I think there also should be limits on deferrals. Like you can't have unlimited deferrals. Maybe you can do up to 50% deferred money. But this, I don't know. I don't know exactly what they can do to improve this game, but you have to think of it this way from a player's perspective, which you were. These players have basically a 10 to 20 year limit in their life to make as much money as they can. These owners own the team for however long they want. And the owners can have additional revenue from television, streaming, advertising. There's so many ways for an owner to make money than a player. And I know the players would never go for a salary cap.
Well,
But at the same time, I think a salary floor is necessary. And also
well,
with the rule changes, I think Johnny Damon doesn't have to worry about cutting his hair anymore. Anyway, is there any other ideas you have on that subject?
the cap or the floor?
Either.
Well, I think that the cap is a necessary bust, no matter how much the player union fights over it. And I suspect that we're going to end up with either a lockout or a strike at the end of the 26th season.
Yeah. And one thing I do not want the outside influences involved, especially when it comes to whatever they say opinions in Washington.
And it looks like Andy Pettit is going to be on the bump today, starting out.
Anyway, I have about I have about 2 hours before I have to leave. So I told you I'm going to the minor league game today.
Yes, you did.
So
And it looks like Flaherty's behind the dish.
Yeah. I've seen John Flaherty a couple times in the golf course.
They're talking that Pettit threw a curveball, cutter. And it looks like Tino Martinez is going to leading off. Pettit sets and fires. And the first pitch is a little bit low and away. Pettit sets and fires, and Martinez fouls that ball off. Count is even at 1-1.
How fast do you think he's throwing now? Maybe 50, 55 miles an hour?
70 maybe. Well, he's throwing breaking stuff. And the pitch is a curveball for call. Strike one. Or strike two.
Which game? I'm going to the Yankee minor league game.
Pettit sets, and the pitch is fouled off.
The Yankee minor league, it's single A.
And the next pitch is fouled off. Looks like Paul O'Neill is manning right field. And Tino has fouled off another pitch.
Yeah, the one disappointment is I won't be seeing Bryce Cunningham because he's injured.
And Tito chops the ball to the second baseman. Flips on to David for the first out of the Old Timers game. And Willie Randolph was playing his traditional second base. Ed Pettit sets and fires, and the pitch is in there for call, strike one. And Posada is in the box to bat. And Posada fouls the pitch off. Count is 0-2. Pettit sets, and Posada bounces that one through the right side of the infield to O'Neill for the first base hit of Old Timers Day.
Well, Susan, I'll tell you something. The Hudson Valley are playing the Brooklyn Cyclones today, so I'll be seeing both of them.
Yeah, Susan, I think that they're eventually going to agree to a cap.
I don't think so.
And now Pettit is pitching to Mariano Rivera. First pitch is down low for ball one.
Mariano is batting.
Yep. And he smokes one to left field. They have runners at first and second with one out.
Mariano got a hit. I think. How many hits did he have in his career? I think I only remember one.
I don't remember any.
I
And
remember
Pettit
one.
sets, and the pitch is off the plate and low.
I don't know. I remember he was on base. He may have walked. He may have not been a hit.
And the pitch is in there for call, strike one.
Henry Raton is causing trouble now.
And this is a high pop out to Willie Randolph. Randolph is clowning around. He pretended to drop the ball.
Henry is really causing trouble.
Well, that's a matter of opinions, Henry, and we're here to watch Old Timers game. You care to watch? Feel free to hang.
Yeah.
And the first pitch is in there for call, strike one.
This is one thing that the Yankees do that no other team does, not even your Blue Jays.
And the Bellinger fouls this one off. Count is 0-2. And the pitch is in, and Bellinger fouls it off. Count is going to remain 0-2. Pettit's looking a little bit worn out there on the bump. And Bellinger bounces the ball to third base. And he steps on the bag to record the second out.
Who's the third baseman?
Or third. I don't know who that is.
I don't recognize him. Changing pitches and catches, or just a pitcher?
And it looks like the Rocket is coming out to pitch the bottom half of the first. And Gator's talking that he needs to refine Pettit's pitches.
Well, he's no longer the pitching coach. Maybe today he is.
Pettit's not the pitcher either. those of you here in the stream, if you could, hit the like button, share the channel out. And if you're not a member of the Yankees, the Ugly Truth, please consider subscribing. We do play-by-plays here almost every day and have open panels on Tuesdays and Thursdays, open to any fan in baseball. And we do periodic pre-series reviews, and I drop videos or questions that I have that the subscribers or anyone can answer.
So here's another question.
Sure.
In September 1st, who do you think are the two players they're going to call up for the expanded roster?
Spencer Jones will be the normal player, and the expanded roster will, for the pitcher, is probably going to be one of the relievers. We have two that are rehabbing this week. And Clemens sets and fires, and the pitch is a towering bunt hit, but he throws to first base and records the first out of the inning.
Yeah, for Spencer Jones, they're going to have to make a 40-man roster move.
Well, that roster move could be very easy by putting Lasagna on the 60-man IL, 60-day IL.
Yeah, put in Loizaga.
And the pitch paints the outside corner. Call is strike one. O'Neill's arguing. And the pitch is chopped through the infield.
Well, whenever I think of O'Neill, I always remember him in the water bottles, knocking over the water jug in the dugout. You remember that?
And Bernie is up to bat, and the first pitch is a curveball in there for strike one.
Well, Williams.
Susan, I think that Williams will be gone before the September call-ups.
Yeah, maybe. I think that will depend on Luke Weaver and Ryan, if Ryan Yarbrough comes back. Because
Well,
I
think that Cruz and Yarborough will both be back before September call-ups.
I think Yarbrough probably could be here for a while.
Bernie hits a towering fly ball. And that drops into left field for a base hit. Now we got O'Neill at second and Williams at first.
Roger Clemens is pitching. I quote, I think Captain Obvious.
And Clemens sets and fires, and the pitch is off the plate.
Yeah, for some reason, after June, I think, or Williams just hasn't been very comfortable. He had a good stretch of about 4 or 5 weeks, and then he hasn't been good since.
And Damon pulls a foul down the first base line. And he swings on the next pitch and misses it. Count is 1-2 on Johnny Damon. He threw a baby cutter to Damon. And the next pitch is off the plate. Count is deuce. And Damon hits a line drive into left field.
I think Paul O'Neill was happy he got in.
And O'Neill is going to round third and head for home to score the first run of the game. And it looks like O'Neill's a little bit gassed and he's mic'd up.
Wow.
I don't anticipate that we'll see O'Neill pulling his bat out and beating water coolers today.
No, I don't think so. Although that was always a good entertainment.
Who was
Peter
that Shane Spencer that misplayed the ball?
I still remember when he kicked the ball when he couldn't pick it up, and he prevented the run from scoring. You remember that play?
Yeah. And there's a pitching change. Looks like Ron Guidry is going to take the bump. And Gator fires the first pitch. It is a slow curve outside for ball one. And the next pitch is off the plate. Count is now 2-0. And the next pitch is inside. Count is now 3-0. And that would be ball four, but batter still hit. Ball five, and the ball is inside.
I don't think they want to walk. I think they just want to see if they can hit the ball.
Who the hell is up to bat?
Someone just flew out.
Pitch is in there for strike one. So it is line to right field. And Bellinger makes the play. And Gator floats one in there for call, strike one.
Devin Williams said after last night, "I stink right now."
And Gator fires, and the ball is chopped through the infield to right field. Bases are now juiced. And it looks like Coney is warming up. Coney against Flash. Yes, Network Challenge. And Coney sets and fires, and the pitch is in there for call, strike one. And Coney throws over the top of Flash's head to brush him back. And Cone sets and fires, and the pitch is inside. Count is 2-1. And Flash swings on the fastball. Count is now even at 2-2. And Flash hits it to the shortstop, who boots the ball. And it looks like another run is going to score. And they got O'Neill out there talking to Max Fried. And Coney throws a curveball way outside. Count is 1-0. Jorge's still blocking pitches out there. And Doyle gets hit by the pitch, but he's staying in the box. And the pitch is swung on. Interesting side note, Brian Doyle, the batter, was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2020, but he is still coming out here and playing.
Well, I guess when you're invited to play baseball and you still have the ability, you play.
And Doyle chops the ball down the first base line. Tino picks it up and steps on the bag for the third out of the inning.
I think Fried and Rodon are enjoying this a little bit too much. They hit the cameraman.
So that's Rodon and Fried enjoying the game.
Yeah. Is there any other play?
Camera guy's out there standing on the mound. He got plunked in the back of the head with the ball coming from the catcher.
Yeah. Are there any other players you'd like to see come to Old Timers game that don't usually show up?
Well, I'd like to see Brett Gardner. He was one that I really enjoyed as a Yankee ball player.
Yeah. I thought Brett Gardner. I think they never should have signed Ellsbury. I don't think they needed him. There was no reason to sign Ellsbury and Beltran in the same offseason.
Hey Hojo, no problem. I enjoy calling the games, and this is one, the Yankees have had a tough season to this point, and thought that it would be nice to have a fun stream. For those of you that have just hopped in the stream, if you haven't, please hit the like button and share the channel out. And if you are not a member of the Yankees The Ugly Truth, please consider subscribing. After this game is over with, I will be doing the live play-by-play for Game 2 of the Astros and Yankees.
Do you think Brett Gardner is a little bit resentful against the Yankees for basically not offering him to continue his career?
Well, he's got to take into consideration that his skill sets had declined. He had been on several one-year deals.
But this was yeah. When was Gardner's last year with the Yankees?
2012, maybe?
2012? No, it has to be after that.
Well, he was part of the World Series team.
2021.
Oh.
2021 was his last year with the Yankees.
Okay. And the pitch is hit for a single. Actually, Pettit's at first base, and he got the scoop. And that pitch is popped up and bounces for a single. Let's go, Yankees! Let's go!
Yeah. Also, after 2011, Brett Gardner never stole more than 24 games in a season. And so I don't know what did the Yankees change with their base stealing, because they've always had fast guys who can steal. They just don't steal,
Yep.
and I never understood. They never let. I don't know even know if Ellsbury stole a lot for them.
And the pitch is hit into right field. The other Yankees have runners at first and second with one out. Looks like Tino Martinez is coming up to bat. Well, not sure about Gardner, especially with the tragic loss of his son this year, Miller. Is that Al Dukey on the mound?
I have to see.
And the pitch is hit it to right field, bounces in for a single. Spencer
Yeah,
falls over himself,
I think it is El Duque.
and they're going to score a run. Speed Demon Homer Bush comes around third to score.
He's not doing a typical high leg kick that he used to.
He'd probably fall over if he tried to do it.
Maybe.
And the pitch is down low for ball one. And the ball is grounded to second base, who flips it to the shortstop. Relayed to the first baseman. So that is a 4-6-3 double play. And they are out of the inning.
Yeah, the Yankees in this game is sometimes it can be more enjoyable than they were in a regular season game.
Well, this is a nice, fun call. No stress to it, and just glad to see a lot of the old fan favorites. It's been years since we've had an old timers game, and it's always good to see your heroes of the past show up and play a little ball.
Yeah, I think my cousin is at this game right now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she posted a video saying she driving to old timers game with a police escort. I think she was driving over the GW Bridge, completely empty, coming into the city with two police cars in front of them. It's funny. So I wouldn't be surprised if she's at the game right now.
and they're calling the game. Clippers win 2-1.
All right. Yeah, the old timers game usually goes 2 or 3 innings. They don't go more than that.
Didi would be a great player to have back, Susan. I agree on that one.
Yeah,
I'd like to see them play.
I'm disappointed they didn't continue with him. The way his last season, wasn't he injured a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't try to get him back.
Well, I'll tell you what. Didi had an incredibly difficult job coming in to replace Derek Jeter, a legend, indefinite fan favorite. And honestly, he held his own as a shortstop.
Yeah, he was a good shortstop.
And he came over from the Diamondbacks also. And Damon is pulling his hat out and all that damn hair is falling out. All right, folks. If you have not, please hit the like button and share the channel out. It is 1:22, and we will be back at 2:00 for the Yankees versus, or the Astros versus the Yankee game 2, featuring Framber Valdez versus Luis Hill coming back from for his second start from coming off the injured list. I want to thank all of y'all for spending time here with me and on the channel with this play-by-play. It was a good call. I enjoyed it. Hope y'all enjoyed it too. And I'll end in my traditional fashion. Let's go Yankees, and we'll see you in the funny pages. Have a great afternoon. Hope to see you in the play-by-play.